Alrighty, so previously we're sitting and having a snack. We thought that was potentially Denali, but then the sky cleared a little bit. And it's this huge mountain area right here. So zooming out a bit, you can see the difference.
Hey Jojo, yeah, I know your name. Thought I saw you jump a Utah train.
Everyone, right now we are outside of Denali National Park, which really is mile zero of this entire trip, because to get here we took the train from Anchorage all the way up to the actual park entrance, and today we are picking up our backcountry permits where we're hoping to camp out overnight and actually ride into the park over 4 or 5 days and just see who we meet.
My mom and I had this saying we would repeat to each other: worrying solves nothing. However, in this moment, I'm freaking out. You see, Eric and I are opposites in that he is filming outside while I'm here with the park ranger trying to understand contour lines for wilderness zones and how many miles we should be biking each day in this national park of 6 million acres. And how much food are we even supposed to bring for 5 days of zero civilization? Did I mention that we're both type 1 diabetics? The same way people think about water, we think about food. It's a medical necessity.
And my mentality is that we're gonna figure it all out, even while answering every tourist question. So we set out right around 6 p.m. But the thing is, time doesn't matter here, because the sun never sets.
Oh, 'cause the story I heard is the people I bore, and the measures you take to wrestle with your Lord. All the money you take, all the memories you spill. Will he measure your time? Will he measure your will? Oh, now.
Notice how that never-setting sun blurs night and day? Well, here we are, waking up at Sanctuary Campground.
And then another kind of interesting point now is that we're in bear country, we're in the back country now, so anything that has a scent we have to fit into these bear canisters. And so managing type 1, we always have to have sugar on us 24 hours a day, and so we've been figuring out what is the best balance between locking up everything and what do we keep at night in case we have to treat a low. And so far that's been using products that are already sealed in packaging and then putting those in dry bags themselves. But till then, we've been doing really great.
One of these mornings will be the loudest you hear. You'll write your story on firecracker paper and disappear. You disappear.
Alright, we just had a park ranger pull over and check our backcountry permits, and we thought we had maybe one path to climb and then all downhill, but the ranger was basically saying we have to climb another path because where we were selecting is just a huge open river, and he's like, it'll be no good. And it's not too big of a concern besides the weather over here.
The cold lapse of rain on your face can really bring you down out here in Denali. So seeing some old familiar faces while out here can truly brighten your day. We bump into Chris and Sophie, who we saw on the train, along with some other bike tourists.
I'm Sophie George, and today I'm killing myself trying to get up hills in the rain and the cold, but it's damn beautiful.
My name's Chandler.
I'm Marjorie.
We're friends and we go on a lot of bike trips together. Been out here for 3 days biking. It's been awesome.
It's been really great.
We saw bears. We saw all the animals in the park, I think, except for foxes.
Chandler wasn't kidding about seeing every animal you possibly could spot while out here in Denali. And don't worry, he did see the fox. So after a group photo, Annalisa and I set out in the opposite direction to consider how we're going to deal with this storm.
It had been a few hours of riding in the cold when Eric and I reached our first wilderness zone and looked out on the river that we were supposed to cross and set up camp, and realized that that wasn't possible. So as we sat there wondering what to do, getting colder and more miserable, we thought about turning around and taking the easy way out. Just hopping on a bus, starting back at the beginning, and maybe doing something else. But instead of that, we put on all our layers and pushed on through the pouring rain.
Alright, so the storm rolled through. We basically bundled up in absolutely everything we have, but it worked out well. And then the storm cleared, and I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see it, but there's a rainbow over the valley here, which is just absolutely stunning. So, you know, you go through the hard times and then instant reward. So, still so stunning out here.
Waking up from our first night of backcountry camping, we have a chance to look around and realize where we are, in the true wild, far from any hustle and bustle. Getting back onto the road, even if it's the road where cars pass us every few hours, makes us realize how fast-paced life can get. Riding out in these open roads, I'm so thankful to escape the stress of New York City, breathe this fresh air, and use my two legs to see places where using the word awesome is actually appropriate. And there's someone out here also from the concrete jungle who can relate.
Ranger Dave escaped New York City many years ago and would stop by each day to check in on us, share some knowledge about the park, and he's also a pretty funny guy.
I don't want to be like on social media with my fly down.
Alright, we bumped into Ranger Dave, who's like the nicest guy ever. He's the one that checked in on us yesterday, gave us some advice not to ford the river and go to Polychrome, which turned out to be great. And he informed us that this is our playground today, and that only 2 people are allowed to camp there, and that happens to be us.
Boring.
You can't blame us for taking dinner a little bit too long when Denali's in your backdrop. But a few days ago, you know that setting off late is a concern, and here we are in the shadows of the mountain, heading towards the river basin.
And we're debating if we have to cross this river or not. But Ranger Dave did tell us to go cross this gigantic island thing. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe if we form like a bridge across it.
That's true. We do have to find
A lot of rocks. Maybe you can still spot the city girl in me. I'm afraid that wading through this river might put us at risk of hypothermia, but it ends up being no big deal. We set up our tents at around 11 p.m. and watch Mount Denali turn a cotton candy pink. Sitting in my tent at 1 a.m., the sun's still up, and all I can write in my journal is damn. Things seem to turn out in the end.
What time is ever good morning, world. What will you make? I walked here to hear how it's give and take, but hear it this way, hear it this way.
Alright, we are back at the visitor center. Hike went well. We had lunch, got our bikes packed up, and now it's a 20-mile downhill ride to Wonder Lake.
Alright. War is in our hearts and blood is in the land we love. We keep breaking our backs, hoping that it gives enough. Oh, what do you need? What do you need? Oh, man's ladders to the sky, building up a high rise. Oh, man.
Our lives are so structured where we only take small leaps. Denali challenges every visitor to explore a landscape that has no beginning or end. Making it to this point, we've learned we're in charge of our own journey and that we have the freedom to take the big leap.
Oh, wow.
I'm in love with